Iran has more than enough of 60% enriched uranium to directly fashion a nuclear explosive. Joining us now is Director of the Center for National Defense at the Heritage Foundation, Robert Greenway. Robert, thank you for joining us. Thanks for bringing your expertise. I want to set the stage here for the people watching real quick. When we talk about 60% enriched uranium, the amount needed for, say, nuclear power is much lower. It's in almost the single digits. And so to go from 3 to 10% up to 60% shows obviously an intent to create a weapon. Where are we and what does this warning mean?
Well, thanks for having me, Joey. Look, we're 1 week away, essentially, from Iran having enough highly enriched uranium for a testable device, and within a month they could have enough for 5. The report you cited indicates that Iran is essentially at a breakout time of 0. And so we may have very little warning before they're able to conduct the sufficient tests. And look, let's compare to where they began. At the time of the election in 2020, they were enriching, as you said, below 4%. They're now at 60, and we've actually tested them above 80% in a recent IAEA report. They had 500 centrifuges operational at the time of the election. They now have over 6,000. And so we're at a point in which we really need to consider the fact that Iran may become a nuclear power, and we've all stated that that's an unacceptable outcome.
Okay, if that's an unacceptable outcome and we're at day 0, is there anything other than bombing enrichment facilities and facilities in Iran that would prevent them at this point from becoming a nuclear power?
Well, that is the million-dollar question. Certainly, the further they go, the more difficult it gets. And it doesn't help that we've given them access to a tremendous amount of resources, over $100 billion. And they've just announced they're going to start construction on 4 new nuclear power plants, which cost about $20 billion. But to your point, I think we're getting to the threshold in which only military force may be required. It does not appear that they're being convinced, coerced, or encouraged to stop the enrichment. And it may be that nuclear force is the only thing required at a time when the region is already a tinderbox.
You said nuclear force. I think you meant military force. But on this topic,
yes.
If there is a nuclear Iran, put this in perspective of what we're seeing today. I mean, we're literally in a place where we have senators calling to bomb Iran because of other things happening. If there's a nuclear Iran, what does that mean for us?
Well, it means by default that Iran, 1, could use the weapon. They already have delivery systems which can range Europe. They certainly can range Israel, which they've stated their goal to destroy and wipe Israel off the map. Second, we know that they would have default control over the world's energy markets because of the proximity to the world's resources. So 30% of the world's energy could be under the control of Iran with a nuclear weapon. And then lastly, they're developing intercontinental ballistic missiles under the guise of a space program, which could ultimately range the United States. And they would be able to conduct terrorism under the impunity of this nuclear umbrella, which I think is their goal. And it may be that this campaign of terrorism is designed to distract so that they can complete this program.
That would make sense. It's such a great point to talk about the economic and energy consequences, not just war and destruction. Robert Greenway, thank you so much for bringing your expertise here today.
My pleasure. Thanks, Joey.
Reading out of Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4, and it reads, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord had indignation forever. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Power of Israel, Yahweh, Bashima Mashiach Yahweh Shai, Ruha Rukakudash. Double honors to the mighty men, the elders, and the apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep, the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness, sincerity. Again, I'm going to say shalom. And we're going to carry on with these end time warnings. Got another heavy notification coming out of end time headlines. And I want to share this with y'all. Okay. This notification reads, Iran tests ballistic missiles in preparations for strike on Israel. I'm going to read that again. It reads, Iran tests ballistic missiles in preparation for strike on Israel. Let's get into it. Iran test-fired advanced ballistic missiles on Tuesday in a series of war drills meant to prepare the Islamic Republic for a strike on Israeli military sites that house American-made F-35 fighter jets, according to the country's state-controlled media. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, which is behind a series of recent strikes on American and Israeli positions across the Middle East. Okay, simulated destroying hangars housing the Israeli regime's United States. It says procured F-35 warplanes by using ballistic missiles, according to the information about the drills. Published in Tehran's official media outlets. It says during the war simulation, the IRGC fired enhanced versions of its Ahmad and quad ballistic missiles against the F-35 hangars located inside a mock-up of Tel Aviv regime's airbase located just outside the major Israeli city. Iran claims its missiles are capable of striking deep into Israel and are capable of traveling more than 1,000 miles. Iran's latest war drills come as its terrorist proxies in Yemen, Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon carried out increasingly deadly operations against the United States and Israeli forces in the region, including a late January strike by the Houthi militant group that killed 3 American military members and sparked a spate of retaliatory attacks by America. It says an attack on Israel's store of F-35s would deal a devastating blow to the Jewish state as it faces down a conflict with Hamas on its southern border and an increasingly dangerous threat from Hezbollah on its northern border. Tensions were also heightened on Wednesday afternoon when the House Intelligence Committee disclosed that it has viewed classified materials outlining a serious national security threat. The committee did not disclose any information about the nature of the threat, instead ensuing a vague statement saying that lawmakers are working to get the intelligence declassified. Last 4 paragraphs. Further information about the matter was not immediately available, and the intelligence community did not immediately respond to a Washington Free Beacon inquiry. Early reports on social media said the intelligence committee is referring to a highly concerning and destabilizing military move by Russia. I'm going to read this again. Early reports on social media said intelligence committee is referring to a highly concerning and destabilizing military move by Russia. Meanwhile, Iran's foreign minister met with the Hamas terrorist group senior leadership during a visit on Tuesday to Qatar, which shelters the organization's top officials. The meeting signals Tehran will continue backing Hamas as it rages war on Israel in the wake of October 7th attack that killed more than 1,200 Israelis. That's the end of that article. And family, time is running out for Babylon the Great. Time is running out on Babylon the Great. We're going to get some scriptures and we're going to wind this down. We're going to wind this thing down. That is not good. In the video I recently did, I was going into Russia. Russia have they basically set up a satellite over America's satellites, excuse me, and they could blow it out. They could blow it out the air and basically disable the United States military. Okay, because I don't think they're not gonna openly tell you what their weapon is capable of doing. But what they will do, they're gonna blind America's military. And for all the Babylonians, they'll see that all their social media, all that stuff is up and running, internet, and while they're in their security, that destruction gonna hit. Let's get some scriptures. These are some serious days we're entering. We're gonna go back to the book of Malachi. We're going to read Malachi. Let's get Malachi 1 and verse 14. And it reads, "But cursed be the deceiver, which had his flock a male and vowed a sacrifice unto the Lord, a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, said the Lord of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen." Okay. And this could go a lot of directions, but this is really a serious hit at these elite powers that be. Okay. They set this thing up in wickedness. You see the warlike agenda, okay? Except now they're at their last end. And if Negroes in America can't see the destruction that's coming, it's going to be a horrible day for a lot of people when the judgment of the Lord be made manifest and this place get melted. Okay? I'm going to read that again. "But cursed be the deceiver," he's dealing with these elites, "which had in his flock a male and vowed with a sacrifice unto the Lord with a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, said the Lord of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen." Okay? And Babylon the Great give up all types of wicked sacrifices on a daily, pushing the satanic wicked vibration over the masses. Okay. But now you just have war. You just have this war-like apocalyptic, vibration on this earth. And that's because the day of the Lord is approaching. It's extremely urgent for Israelites to keep these commandments. Okay, to keep the commandments or get jammed up in the judgment day, which is swiftly approaching. Let's get a few more. And I'm gonna wind it down. Malachi 3 and verse 5. And I will come near to you to judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the idolaters, and against false swearers, and against those that oppress the hireling in his wages. Okay, the widow and the fatherless, and that turn aside the stranger from his right, and fear not me, said the Lord of hosts. But this is the point. Verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore you sons of Jacob are not consumed. And the sons of Jacob are the 12 tribes of the children of Israel that scattered to the four corners of the earth. Those are the sons of Jacob. Okay. So we can see this war agenda. It's not even the elite's war agenda. This is really the Most High to set his captives free. Right? Let's get to the point. Let's get to the judgment. Malachi chapter 4 and verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Okay. I'm going to read this again. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. And this is really going into the judgment of Edom, but this is also going into the judgment of wicked Israelites that align themselves up with oppression and refuse to repent. Because the judgment day is close. It gotta be close, y'all, if it be of the Lord. Okay? And this is what we have to do. Malachi 4 and 4. Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him, or for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Okay? So we have to keep these commandments as we continue to watch the fall of this wicked kingdom, Babylon the Great, aka the United States, that's due to be destroyed. Okay? And with that, gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Power of Israel, Yahweh, Bashim Mashiach Yahushai. Double honors to mighty men, the elders, and the apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep, the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness, sincerity. Israel, I love y'all. We got next. Shalom.